Okay, while we've got you, I want to talk about obviously two players who are getting a lot of attention in the press for different reasons. With Januzaj breaking into the first team, and maybe we should first off Zaha, who come in obviously in the January transfer window, then back out on loan, who just hasn't featured in the team at all, and he was pretty good he seemed pretty good in pre-season.
It's always he was very good at Palace. He was sort of the star player that got him to the Premier League. Now he just sits about.
Yeah, I mean, why would you think that is? Do you think it's maybe Moyes not rating him, or do you think he should be in the first team setup?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before about a lack of real clear strategy at that level. And I just think you need to do one of two things. You need to either make a decision that you don't fancy somebody and then let them get on with it. So, let's get him out on loan, let's sell him, whatever the case may be, and just say, look, I've spent 3 months looking at this guy in training. He went on pre-season. He didn't impress me. He's not the type of player I'm looking for. Tactically, I think he's lacking. I understand why, the previous manager might have fancied him, but I don't. And just come clean and say it, or give him a chance. Now, there could be a third thing that, we're not aware of, but on the surface, it just seems really strange. But as I say, it could be that we just don't have this lack of clear strategy at that level.
Okay. So, that's Zaha. Januzaj, he's a player who has broken into the first team. He saved us at Sunderland and has done incredibly well. Was that expected, or is it a case of there's a lot of hype, he's done well, but maybe is sort of doing better than people thought he would?
I think it depends who you ask. I mean, when he first came to the youth setup in 2011, he straight away you could see he's got incredible skill. So you'd watch him play and you go, wow, he's a player. The ball was tight at his feet. He'd drop a shoulder and go past somebody. And you think to yourself, he's clearly got the technique and he's clearly got the skill. The other thing that was noticeable is he had the confidence. And I think that's a big thing. But it's very different having confidence against other 16, 17-year-olds and having confidence against seasoned professionals who have played at different leagues throughout the world. So you're always wondering whether they've got the temperament to make the step up. And as he got into more experienced opportunities within our 21s or even at some of the youth games, you thought to yourself, he's made the step up and he makes it look really easy. The thing with Januzaj that we were always a little bit concerned with was his work ethic. Sometimes it was too easy for him, and so with the academy games, he would drift in and out of the games, and he'd go missing for periods of time. And I always thought that was a bit of a worry with certain players. Now, this time last year, we get knocked out of the Youth Cup by Burnley. And my understanding was that Ferguson went into the changing room afterwards and absolutely rollopped the whole team. He was really upset with the way we lost that game. We were 2-1 up with not long to go, and we ended up losing or drawing 2-2 and then losing an extra time 3-2. And he was really upset. He certainly felt it wasn't the United way at Old Trafford to be, giving up leads in an FA Youth Cup, which is pretty important to the club. It's an important part of our history. And he singled out Januzaj as someone who he thought had the ability and the temperament to affect that game, but didn't feel he tried hard enough, and he gave him a personal rollicking. And what he said to Januzaj was, here's what we're going to do. We're going to now elevate you into the under-21s. Your first season, you're in and out of the team with a bit of injury. You've had a good run, but you're not producing. We want you to show us exactly what you can do. So they elevated him in the January of this year into the under-21s, and from January until May, he was outstanding. He was absolutely outstanding. He'd drop his shoulder, he'd shoot for goal. He had everything in his game. And I think it was just a matter of time before he was given the opportunity. And certainly lads I spoke to who go watch the games regularly, we weren't surprised he was taken on the pre-season tour. We weren't surprised he did so well. And we certainly haven't been surprised that he's been given a chance this year. And I think what he's got is he's got an incredible, self-confidence. Gary Neville on the TV said it was arrogance. He might know more than me, but it's incredible self-confidence. And what he has the ability to do is change a game. So I don't think it's a flash in a pan. I don't think it's a one-off. And I just think that he's going to get better and better. The only question with Moyes, of course, is how many games to give him, when to rest him, how to manage him psychologically. And obviously, the sooner we can get him signed up on a decent contract, the better, because that can then allow him to concentrate on his game and concentrate him on being a first-team regular this season.
Okay, just quickly, contract.
Yep.
Do you think, will he stay with us, or is he the kind of guy, is he itching for a move abroad because he's not from these shores and the weather isn't the best?
I think there's a couple of differences. Everybody keeps comparing it to Pogba. Pogba's totally different. If you look at Pogba's history, he has moved club, even at junior level, every 2 years. So he's moved for 2 years, moved for 2 years, moved for 2 years, and funny enough, he's at Juventus, and now he's moving again 2 years later. So there's hardly any surprise there. And we're not questioning his class or his ability. That's not the question. With Januzaj, it's slightly different. His parents are over here living with him. When he signed a 2+1, which means it was a 2-year academy deal plus a 1-year pro contract. So we're now in a position to look at that. I don't think he's interested in the cash. I don't think he's interested in going abroad anymore. He was at Anderlecht from the age of 10 to 16, so he's been very, very stable, in one country at one club. He's now come to us. I believe he likes it here. I believe that the senior players have taken him under his wing and are giving him, lots of positive support. So all the vibes I'm getting is that he wants to stay and he wants to play first-team football. I think as long as we give him the opportunity to play first-team football, and as long as he feels involved and he's making a contribution, I don't see it as being a major issue. Of course, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes with their agents. And the big deal with Pogba was they went to Ferguson asking for a minimum number of guaranteed first-team games. Now, Ferguson said, he couldn't guarantee Van Persie or Rooney a certain number of first-team games, so that wasn't going to happen. And as long as his agent is sensible, whatever that means in inverted commas, then I think he'll stay, and I think he'll be a great addition to the first-team squad.
Okay, well that sounds like good news. I think that's good news. Tony, thank you very much. We'll touch on again later in the season to find out how things have progressed, and maybe some other players might have come into the first team a bit.
No,
I don't know, things might have changed. So yeah, we're coming again later in the season, find that out. Guys, keep an eye out for the video. And also check out Tony's book, Sons of United. Read it, you'll have a great time. Brilliant, thank you very much Tony. Guys, subscribe, you know what to do. Guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe, then you can watch all of our videos first. And also leave a comment below. Tell us if you have any exciting thoughts about the reserves. If you enjoyed that video, if you didn't, if you want to see more reserves content, maybe stuff specifically about the under-19s or even lower down.
Maybe you want to see the do we have under-5s?
I don't think so. I think that would be sort of cruel to make children play football at that level.
Okay, but maybe we should. And if you think we should, put your comments below and we'll look into it.
Yeah.